from this person, and that departure has triggered a crisis inside them they did not anticipate. They assumed your patience was limitless, that no matter how much they tested it, you would always remain within reach. That assumption just collapsed, and the ground beneath their feet cracked wide open the moment they sensed you pulling back. This person faces a devastating realization right now, the permanent kind that rewires how they view everything they took for granted. You leaving is not a gentle fade or a slow retreat. It is a definitive exit that echoes through their entire foundation. The weight of losing you hit them differently than anything before, because this time they recognize the finality written across it. Previous distances felt temporary and reversible to them, but your energy now carries a closure they have never tasted until this moment. The first card stepping forward is the Five of Pentacles, and it captures the devastation settling into this person's awareness completely. The Five of Pentacles represents spiritual poverty, the hollow emptiness that floods a life when something irreplaceable walks out the door. This card shows this person standing outside in the cold, watching warmth disappear through a window they no longer have access to. They feel the temperature drop in real time, a chill spreading through areas of their life that your presence once heated effortlessly. The Five of Pentacles confirms they already sense the vacancy you leave behind, gaps forming in routines they never realized depended on you. Mornings feel structurally different without your energy anchoring them, and evenings stretch into shapeless hours that refuse to pass at normal speed. This card does not sugarcoat their situation. They are experiencing genuine loss and the disorientation that accompanies realizing it arrived too late. The Five of Pentacles reveals a scarcity they manufactured themselves, an emptiness entirely self-inflicted by treating your loyalty as inexhaustible. Your second card is the Empress, and she introduces a stunning contrast between what this person forfeited and what you actually represent. The Empress embodies abundance and nurturing power, confirming that what you offered this person was rare and impossibly generous in its consistency. They did not just lose a connection, they lost access to a frequency of devotion that most people spend lifetimes searching for. The Empress shows that your love operated like a living ecosystem, sustaining parts of this person they never bothered to water themselves. Without your nourishment, their emotional garden wilts visibly, and the Empress confirms they are only now noticing how barren everything became. This card validates that your departure is not cruelty. It is the natural consequence of a soul refusing to honor what was given. The Empress reminds you that your generosity was never weakness. It was abundance flowing from a source that deserved reciprocation, not drainage. This person's problem intensifies because they recognize the Empress energy leaving, and nothing in their reserves can replicate what you provided naturally. They borrowed warmth from you for so long that their own capacity to self-sustain atrophied completely without them even noticing it. Your third card is the Ace of Swords, and it slices through every illusion this person clung to about your availability. The Ace of Swords represents a piercing truth arriving without mercy, a mental breakthrough that cannot be unlearned or conveniently forgotten afterward. This person received a sudden, undeniable clarity about the permanence of your exit, and that awareness cuts deeper than any previous warning did. The Ace of Swords confirms the fog officially lifted for them, replaced by a sharp recognition that negotiations have genuinely expired now. They cannot convince themselves this is temporary anymore. The Ace of Swords eliminated that comfortable delusion with one precise stroke of finality. Your fourth card is the Four of Cups, showing this person sitting motionless in the aftermath of everything they failed to protect. The Four of Cups captures a spirit frozen by regret, staring at what remains while being completely unable to appreciate anything else offered. No substitute has even approached. Now, let us turn the focus entirely onto you and what has been building inside your own heart through all of this. You reached a threshold recently that changed the architecture of your thinking, a line crossed internally that cannot be uncrossed or softened. The exhaustion you carry is not ordinary tiredness. It is the bone-deep fatigue of investing into a void that never reciprocated. Your patience did not simply run out. It was systematically drained by repeated disappointments until the reservoir finally hit absolute zero. There was a specific moment where something inside you shifted permanently, a quiet click that separated who you were from who you become. You stopped negotiating with your own worth, and that single decision restructured every priority you held about this connection going forward. The first card arriving for you is Justice, and it mirrors the exact internal reckoning you have been processing on your own. Justice confirms that your departure is not impulsive or emotional. It is the calculated result of weighing evidence that consistently pointed one direction. You examined this situation from every conceivable angle before choosing to walk, turning it over in your hands like a stone seeking cracks. The verdict you reached was not born from anger. It emerged from an exhausted clarity that left no room for further deliberation. Justice validates that you gave more chances than most would consider reasonable, extending grace far beyond what the circumstances actually warranted. Your conscience is clean in this matter, and this card confirms that the scales tipped not from spite, but from accumulated factual weight. You stopped asking whether you deserved better because the answer became so deafeningly obvious that the question itself felt insulting to repeat. Justice sees a mind that finally aligned with what the heart knew for months, creating an unshakable certainty that radiates from your core. Your second card is the Seven of Wands, and it reflects the fierce determination now fueling every step you take away from stagnation. The Seven of Wands captures you standing on elevated ground, defending a position you fought brutally hard to finally claim as your own. You are not retreating from this connection. You are advancing toward a version of yourself that refuses to shrink for anybody's comfort. A fire reignites inside your chest that feels different from anger. It burns with the focused precision of a warrior reclaiming sacred territory. The Seven of Wands confirms that outside voices tried discouraging your decision, opinions from people who never stood where you currently stand. You absorbed their doubts without letting those doubts penetrate your resolve, holding firm against pressure that would have buckled a weaker foundation. This card honors your stubbornness as sacred, because what they label as pride, you recognize as the minimum standard of self-respect. The Seven of Wands shows you choosing discomfort over dishonesty, picking the harder road because your integrity demanded it without compromise or apology. You would rather rebuild alone than continue tolerating a dynamic that slowly dismantled your sense of self with each passing silent week. Your third card is the Nine of Pentacles, and it illuminates the independent abundance already forming around you as you reclaim your space. The Nine of Pentacles shows a life blooming in the absence of what drained it, new growth sprouting where neglect once dominated. You are discovering capacities within yourself that were dormant while your attention poured into sustaining a connection that consumed without contributing back. Financial stability or creative energy or emotional bandwidth, something tangible improves noticeably the further you walk from what diminished you before. The Nine of Pentacles confirms you are building a garden that finally belongs exclusively to you, cultivated by your own labor and devotion. Self-sufficiency does not frighten you anymore. It excites you in ways you did not expect, and that excitement grows with each dawn. Your solitude transformed from loneliness into sovereignty, a quiet kingdom where your standards set the only laws that govern entry or residence. The Nine of Pentacles validates that walking away was not loss. It was the first act of genuine investment you made into yourself. You are not grieving what you left behind. You are marveling at how much lighter every single morning feels without that particular burden. Your fourth card is King of Swords, confirming that intellectual clarity now governs your choices with an authority that emotion cannot override.
Okay, now we step fully into what is happening inside this person's world as your absence begins rewriting their reality. This person is unraveling in ways they cannot articulate to anybody around them. A private disintegration hidden behind forced normalcy. Their thoughts circle your name obsessively, returning to it like a tongue pressing against a wound it knows it should leave alone. Panic settled into their bloodstream the moment your energy shifted, a chemical alarm their body registered before their mind caught up. They oscillate between denial and dread hourly, convincing themselves you will return and then collapsing when that fantasy dissolves again. Pride still guards their exterior like rusted armor, but behind it every organ aches with the specific grief of self-sabotage. The first card surfacing is the Hanged Man, and it perfectly mirrors the suspended agony this person currently inhabits without escape. The Hanged Man shows a life placed on involuntary hold, frozen between the world they destroyed and a future they cannot access. This person exists in limbo right now, incapable of advancing forward, yet physically unable to retreat back into comfortable ignorance anymore. Everything they once prioritized above you suddenly appears worthless, rearranged by perspective into a pile of distractions that bought them nothing lasting. The Hanged Man confirms a forced spiritual pause descended upon them, stripping away every mechanism they previously used to avoid confrontation. They cannot distract themselves from your absence the way they managed before, because this time the vacancy penetrates too deeply to medicate. Suspension is their punishment and their teacher simultaneously, holding them captive until they absorb lessons their stubbornness previously refused to acknowledge. The Hanged Man reveals that their entire worldview inverts during this phase,
priorities flipping until what they dismissed rises to the top. Your second card is the Five of Cups, and it captures the mourning that consumes this person's private hours with devastating accuracy. The Five of Cups shows them fixated on what's spilled, staring at the overturned vessels while ignoring anything that might still remain upright. Grief dominates their internal landscape with a ferocity that startles them, tears arriving at unpredictable moments triggered by the smallest sensory reminders. A particular scent, or a song, or a street corner associated with you ambushes them, collapsing composure they spent entire mornings constructing. The Five of Cups confirms this person mourns you as though you died, because to their emotional body, your departure registers identically. They visit mental shrines built from your shared history, kneeling before memories they once treated carelessly, but now regard as irreplaceable relics. Shame intensifies the grief exponentially, because they know their own hands tipped those cups and spilled what could have sustained them permanently. The Five of Cups reveals they cannot forgive themselves yet, trapped in a loop of self-accusation that offers no exit or absolution. Their mirror reflects a version of themselves they genuinely despise, the one who gambled your loyalty against indifference and lost catastrophically. Your third card is the Queen of Swords, and she exposes the painful intellectual clarity now operating alongside their emotional devastation. The Queen of Swords confirms this person sees the situation with brutal honesty, no illusions softening the edges of what they caused. They dissect their own failures with surgical detachment during daylight, cataloging every missed opportunity and dismissed warning with meticulous, agonizing precision. This card shows a mind that tortures itself with accuracy, replaying your patience and their neglect in high definition on permanent repeat. The Queen of Swords reveals they constructed an internal courtroom where evidence against them mounts daily and no defense attorney ever appears. They know precisely which moments fractured your trust, mapping the exact coordinates of every crack their carelessness introduced into your foundation. Intelligence becomes their enemy here, because ignorance would grant mercy, but the Queen of Swords strips that mercy away with cold efficiency. This person cannot pretend confusion about why you left. They possess complete clarity, and that clarity is the sharpest blade they carry. The Queen of Swords confirms their suffering is amplified by understanding. Knowing the diagnosis does not cure the disease, it only names. So we shift now into the actions this person is about to take as the reality of your departure fully registers. This person already began making moves you have not witnessed yet. Quiet adjustments happening behind the scenes aimed directly at your attention. They altered daily routines that previously excluded any effort toward you, restructuring schedules to create openings they never bothered making before. Behavioral patterns that defined their negligence are being dismantled one by one, replaced with deliberate choices that contradict everything you grew accustomed to. They deleted distractions from their life that occupied the space your connection should have filled, clearing wreckage they finally recognized as self-imposed. The shift is not cosmetic or performative. It penetrates how they organize their hours and where they direct their remaining emotional capital. The first card here is the Six of Wands, and it confirms this person prepares a visible, undeniable gesture aimed squarely at you. The Six of Wands represents public declaration and victory, signaling that this person abandons secrecy and moves toward you with full transparency. They are done operating in shadows and half measures. The Six of Wands demands boldness, and this person finally meets that demand. A grand gesture forms in their planning, something designed to communicate seriousness in a language that casual words could never accomplish alone. The Six of Wands confirms they intend to make their pursuit of you visible to others, removing any ambiguity about their intentions publicly. People in their circle will notice the shift because this person stops pretending detachment and starts broadcasting commitment through observable, concrete behavior instead. This card shows them stepping into accountability willingly, claiming responsibility for the damage in front of witnesses rather than hiding behind private apologies. The Six of Wands guarantees their approach carries ceremonial weight, not a whispered text at midnight, but a declaration that demands to be acknowledged. Your second card is the Two of Pentacles, and it reveals the practical juggling this person undertakes to restructure their life around you. The Two of Pentacles shows active rebalancing happening across every domain, finances and time and priorities being physically rearranged to accommodate your return. This person recalculates logistics with an urgency they never previously applied, shifting commitments and canceling obligations that compete with reaching you directly. They sacrifice convenience willingly now, accepting disruption to their comfort because maintaining the status quo became more painful than any temporary instability. The Two of Pentacles confirms they juggle multiple practical obstacles simultaneously, solving each one methodically to clear a viable path back to you. Housing situations or work schedules or social commitments, tangible elements of their infrastructure get renegotiated to prove capacity for genuine, sustained presence. This card shows adaptive resourcefulness kicking into overdrive, creative problem solving applied toward one singular objective that overrides every competing priority. The Two of Pentacles reveals they already started making sacrifices you will only discover later, quiet trades that exchanged personal comfort for proximity. Their calendar reflects a completely different set of values than it did 3 months ago, and that shift happened with deliberate architectural intent. Your third card is the Magician, and it confirms this person now channels every available resource toward manifesting reconciliation as a physical reality. The Magician represents mastery of tools and intention aligned with execution, confirming this person finally deploys the full spectrum of their capabilities toward you. They stopped wasting potential on avoidance and redirected that same energy into construction, building bridges from materials they previously used to erect barriers. The Magician confirms their strategy is comprehensive, not fragmented, addressing emotional and practical and communicative dimensions simultaneously rather than piecemeal attempts. This person studies what you need before approaching, gathering intelligence about your current state so their arrival lands with precision, not clumsiness. The Magician shows them rehearsing their approach with the discipline of a craftsman, refining every detail until the execution matches the sincerity behind it. They are not improvising this return. Every element is being curated intentionally because they understand one opportunity is all your patience will permit. Now, we descend into the vault this person guards most fiercely, the confessions they would sooner dissolve than speak into existence. This person harbors a truth so volatile that releasing it terrifies them more than losing you does, and that ratio devastates them. They rehearse admissions in the dark that would reshape how you perceive every single interaction you ever shared together from the beginning. The confession that suffocates them most is that they recognized your irreplaceability from the very start and chose cowardice over honoring it. They knew precisely what they possessed in you, calculated its worth with perfect accuracy, and still elected to treat it as disposable. That awareness is the shrapnel they carry, embedded too deeply to extract and too jagged to ignore during any waking moment. The first card exposing their hidden world is the Lovers, and it strips bare the romantic obsession this person conceals from everyone alive. The Lovers confirms that this person is catastrophically in love with you, a condition they diagnose privately but refuse to disclose publicly. They frame their attachment as nostalgia when questioned by friends, deflecting with rehearsed indifference while internally combusting at the mention of your name. The secret they protect most violently is that no connection since you has produced even a fraction of the same electrical charge. The Lovers reveals they compare every candidate against your specific blueprint, measuring strangers against criteria only you established and only you satisfied. Intimacy with others feels mechanical and borrowed to them, counterfeit currency exchanged in markets where your authentic gold once circulated as the standard. They confess silently that their body still responds to the memory of you with an intensity that humiliates their attempts at detachment. The Lovers confirms a physical and spiritual magnetism that operates independently from their willpower, pulling cellular toward you despite every conscious effort otherwise. Your second card is the Ten of Swords, and it unearths the devastating self-destruction this person masks behind performed composure daily. The Ten of Swords shows a soul impaled by their own decisions, lying face down in consequences they authored with both hands willingly. The hidden confession here is that this person believes they deserve the suffering, accepting punishment as appropriate payment for how they mistreated you. They constructed a private theology of guilt, where your departure serves as divine sentencing, a verdict they consider earned and therefore impossible to appeal. The Ten of Swords reveals they fantasize about total surrender, collapsing every defense and presenting themselves to you completely, disarmed and unprotected entirely. They imagine confessing everything simultaneously, vomiting truth in one devastating flood, rather than parceling it into manageable portions that preserve any remaining dignity. What they suppress is the desire to be witnessed in their lowest state by the only person whose judgment they actually respect. The Ten of Swords confirms they secretly crave your anger over your silence, because fury at least acknowledges their existence in your landscape. Indifference from you is the blade that penetrates deepest, worse than hatred, because it suggests they occupy zero remaining territory in your awareness. Your third card is the Wheel of Fortune, and it reveals a confession rooted in something far older than this single lifetime together. The Wheel of Fortune exposes their belief that your connection operates on a karmic axis, a destined entanglement they cannot outrun or outlast. They confess internally that leaving you felt like violating a cosmic contract, a breach of spiritual law that triggered consequences they now endure daily. This person secretly believes the universe conspired to place you together, and their failure to honor that placement haunts them on a mythic scale. The Wheel confirms they interpret every misfortune since your departure as evidence of karmic debt accumulating, interest compounding on a loan they defaulted willingly. Their hidden desire is not merely reconciliation, it is restoration of a balance they believe only your presence in their life can provide. They want to confess that they feel cosmically incomplete without you, halved by their own hand, and unable to locate the missing portion elsewhere. The Wheel of Fortune reveals this person sees your return as the only event capable of correcting the spiritual imbalance they created. So let us bring this entire reading to its close by revealing what the near future holds and the wisdom Spirit leaves behind. The first card for your near future is Strength, and it confirms that the coming weeks amplify your personal power exponentially. Strength arrives to guarantee that your position only solidifies further, rooting you deeper into the sovereign ground you claimed by walking away. This person's attempts to reach you meet a version of you that operates from unshakable self-possession, calm and immovable and clear. The dynamic between you two permanently restructures in your favor, because strength ensures you hold the axis around which everything now rotates. Within the near future, this person confronts the full consequences of their negligence directly, no buffers remaining between them and your absolute truth. Your second near future card is the World, and it seals this chapter with completion energy that resonates across your entire existence. The World confirms that a massive cycle officially concludes for you, liberation arriving not as escape, but as earned graduation from what diminished you. Wholeness returns to you in tangible, measurable ways, filling compartments that this person's absence hollowed out, and replacing lack with genuine abundance. The World guarantees you step into a period of sovereignty where your choices dictate outcomes, not their behavior or their timing or their excuses. Now for your advice card, Spirit delivers the High Priestess to guide you through this transition with intuitive precision and sacred patience. The High Priestess instructs you to trust what you already know beneath the noise, honoring your inner wisdom above any external persuasion. Do not abandon your standards to accommodate their urgency. Let their actions prove consistency across time before your walls adjust even slightly. The High Priestess advises you to observe silently rather than react immediately, allowing their behavior to testify on its own, without your prompting. Your intuition earned its authority through every betrayal it accurately predicted, and the High Priestess confirms that compass deserves permanent navigation rights. Guard your peace with the same ferocity you once poured into sustaining a connection that refused to sustain you back with equal devotion. The High Priestess reminds you that silence is its own dialect of power, and choosing when to speak matters more than speaking first. Receive only what matches the frequency you cultivated alone, rejecting anything that vibrates below the standard your solitude taught you to demand permanently. Now, let me gather this full reading together for you, because the message that poured through today carried undeniable weight from start to finish. The message was that this person faces a monumental problem because you are leaving them behind forever. And every card validated that reality. The Five of Pentacles exposed their devastation. The Empress confirmed what rare abundance they forfeited, and the Ace of Swords delivered piercing clarity. The Four of Cups showed their inability to accept substitutes. Justice validated your departure as righteous, and the Seven of Wands honored your resolve. The Nine of Pentacles celebrated your independent bloom. The King of Swords sharpened your discernment, and the Hanged Man suspended them in earned agony. The Five of Cups captured their mourning. The Queen of Swords amplified their self-aware suffering, and the Six of Wands revealed their grand gesture. The Two of Pentacles showed frantic restructuring. The Magician confirmed strategic mobilization, and the Lovers exposed their concealed romantic obsession toward you. The Ten of Swords revealed self-inflicted torment. The Wheel of Fortune uncovered karmic desperation, and Strength guaranteed your power only deepens from here. The World sealed your liberation with completion energy, and the High Priestess handed you wisdom to navigate whatever arrives next with sacred authority. Every single card across this reading confirmed one undeniable truth. Your departure is the catalyst that dismantles this person's entire constructed world permanently. You hold the power in this connection now, earned through patience that was exploited, and silence that taught you your own immeasurable worth. What comes next belongs to you entirely, and no version of their pursuit diminishes the throne you built from the wreckage they caused. Thank you so deeply for being here with me today. I genuinely appreciate you trusting this reading, and I am sending you tremendous love. The first card for your near future is Strength, and it confirms that the coming weeks amplify your personal power exponentially. Strength arrives to guarantee that your position only solidifies further, rooting you deeper into the sovereign ground you claimed by walking away. This person's attempts to reach you meet a version of you that operates from unshakable self-possession, calm and immovable and clear. The dynamic between you two permanently restructures in your favor, because Strength ensures you hold the axis around which everything now rotates. Within the near future, this person confronts the full consequences of their negligence directly, no buffers remaining between them and your absolute truth. Your second near future card is the World, and it seals this chapter with completion energy that resonates across your entire existence. The World confirms that a massive cycle officially concludes for you, liberation arriving not as escape, but as earned graduation from what diminished you. Wholeness returns to you in tangible, measurable ways, filling compartments that this person's absence hollowed out, and replacing lack with genuine abundance. The World guarantees you step into a period of sovereignty where your choices dictate outcomes, not their behavior or their timing or their excuses. Now for your advice card, Spirit delivers the High Priestess to guide you through this transition with intuitive precision and sacred patience. The High Priestess instructs you to trust what you already know beneath the noise, honoring your inner wisdom above any external persuasion.